everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bees Buzz. We'll be right back with my co-host, G Hikes, and we're going to do some serious Bruin discussion here on the upcoming games and the past games from last week. Episode 8 coming right at you right now. Well, when we come back. Hello, everyone. Stevie D back here with his co-host, G Hikes, and we're ready to talk a little Bruins hockey. So, G Hikes.
All right, Stevie. Well, I mean, this week it started off pretty good for the Bruins. They were playing the St. Louis Blues, and the very red-hot St. Louis Blues, who we had mentioned in the last show, had won 10 out of 11. But tonight, Tuukka Rask was the story again with 33 saves in a 2-0 win.
Yeah, great win.
Yes, yep. Rask made 15 saves in the third period to ensure that victory for the Bruins. The Bruins started off good in that third period, sat back a little bit. Again, only 3 shots on goal, but like I said, Tuukka was there to keep that puck out of the net. Patrice Bergeron and Torrey Krug scored for the Bruins. However, they did lose Adam McQuaid. He has a broken thumb. He was blocking a Shattenkirk shot and ended up hitting him in the arm area. They really weren't sure where it was, but then after the game, it was a broken thumb, so he's going to be out probably 6 to 8 weeks.
This defensive playing goalie all the time stuff's got to stop. I mean, it happened in the past, but not like today.
Yeah,
that's why you got a goalie.
Yeah, and you know the block shots thing. I know that all the teams. I mean, that's an important part of the game, but at the same time, it just seems like I mean, it's a fluke thing to have a broken thumb with the gloves.
Right.
I mean, but you know what? It's like I played goal. My son used to play goal. It's like, you can have all the equipment in the world, and there's always that area where the puck is just going to hit where there's like not a lot of padding. It just seems like that's unfortunately
and it seems
ends up being the law of averages.
And it happens when you're doing things that really
right
are out of the ordinary. I'm sorry. Defensemen should be going after the puck or checking somebody. But,
right.
I mean, Bobby Orr, remember he used to drop on his knees?
Yeah.
And take a puck in the chest.
Wow.
Gary Doak could take him in the face.
Yeah, Gary Doak, he took him in the face and he was back out for the next shift.
Yeah.
Yep, Gary Doak, that's for sure.
Go, Dokie!
Dokie. And so the Bruins played with 5 defensemen pretty much for the next 2 periods. Bergeron, nice goal by him, first goal of the game. He was forechecking, and Ian Cole was in back of the net, and he kind of muffed a pass. And what happened was Bergeron was smart. He saw where he muffed the pass. He quickly skated in and just snapped it past Elliott for a 1-0 lead. And then a little more than halfway through the second period, with the Blues were kind of carrying the play at that time, Torrey Krug took a shot from the top of the right circle and put it by Elliott to make it 2-0. The Bruins also had a goal called off at the end of the second. Soderberg's backhand pass went off Frazier into the net, but according to the referees, they called goaltender interference on Frazier, and it was a very borderline call. I think, I hate to say it, but I think the score dictated that. I mean, I think that if there was no score of the game, I think they might have given that goal to the Bruins, but where it was 2-0, and the call could have went either way. I think that they wanted to just not make it not a goal. And speaking of Bobby Orr and block shots, I mean, if you look at, what it is too, these guys are blocking an awful lot more shots because if you look at all the equipment they wear now, I mean, they're out there like football players.
Yeah.
But I will digress though for 1 minute. I'm actually wearing my Bobby Orr jersey for the first time. My wife actually bought this for me for Christmas last year, and I was cleaning out my closet, and I said, hey, I got to wear this. But anyways, I don't know if anybody's ever seen this movie. It was filmed here back in the early 70s. I think it was 1973, and it was called The Friends of Eddie Coyle.
Eddie Coyle, yeah.
Okay. And it was actually filmed mostly here in Quincy. There was some stuff that they filmed in Weymouth and also, too, in Boston, right? But Robert Mitchum played Eddie Coyle, and he was kind of like he was almost like a Whitey Bulger. He was in with the mob, but he was also ratting on them to the FBI. So, needless to say, Peter Boyle. Actually, you remember Peter Boyle? Everybody Loves Raymond, but this is back in the days when he's doing movies like Joe and Young Frankenstein. He was the bartender, and what he did was they show Robert Mitchum, Eddie Coyle, and he goes into the bar and he says, "Hey," he goes, "I get 2 tickets for tonight's Bruins game." He goes, "Let's go to the game." So Robert Mitchum's up in the balcony, up in the gallery gods, and he's watching the game, and he's there swilling down his beers, and he turns around and he looks down on the ice, and they were showing actual clips of the game, and they were showing Bobby Orr carrying the puck, and Robert Mitchum turns around and he goes, "Bobby Orr, number 4, the best thing that ever happened to a pair of ice skates. He's the best." If you ever get a chance to watch that movie, I mean, for its day, I mean, it's a little campy, but for its day to just see some of those clips.
Oh, that was a movie. I think that was like the first movie filmed in Boston.
Yeah, it was. I mean, and I remember at that time too, they were filming that movie, and also too, there was also a television series named Banachek with George Papard that was also filmed around this area too.
Right.
I think it was a little bit more than a year, but the show was canceled. But anyways,
Yeah.
if you ever get a chance to see that Friends of Eddie Coyle, it's worth to see it just for that.
Oh, yeah, that was good.
Yeah.
Well, I was watching a show last night. Well, I was channel surfing or whatever, and I think the show was Bones, and I just happened to stop and watch it because it turned out they were in an office, a lawyer's office or something, and the guy behind him had a picture of Bobby Orr on the wall. I says, "Wow, that's cool." He's everywhere.
Jeez.
He was everywhere when he played.
Yeah, maybe the doctor did one of his knee operations.
Yeah, that's true.
Fictitiously, maybe.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Anyways, so the Bruins go on to Columbus to play the Blue Jackets on Friday. And no David Krejci now this time. I think that in the Blues game, the big difference with the Bruins was they had Krejci in the lineup, so they were able to keep the lines a little bit more balanced.
Right.
But here we are. He's out again, and they were down 2-0 after 2 periods. Pair of pucks that bounced around and went in on Nicholas Svedberg. One of them a 5-holer that slowly trickled in that he's probably wished that he could have back, But they're down in the third period, though. It didn't look great for the Bruins, but they caught a break just a little bit over a minute into the third. Dennis Seidenberg, just trying to get some shots on net, took a 95-foot slap shot on Brabowski, and it somehow slid through his pads. It just goes to show you, as we've always talked about, it's like, hey, you can't score unless you shoot on net. And like I always say, I'm a firm believer, it's like you don't have to be right in front of the goalie to score a goal, And granted, this was a little bit of a fluky thing, but, it woke up the Bruins.
Yep.
And about halfway through the period, Matt Bartkowski, who also had 2 assists in the game, and he's played very well since he sat out for almost 2 months, he slapped one that Frazier deflected, tying the game at 2. And then a few minutes later, Daniel Paille scored his first goal of the season. I know we've been waiting for this one to happen, Stevie, but it finally happened. Rister from the right circle put the Bees ahead 3-2.
Assisted by Soderberg, who's playing well.
Yes. And then Columbus, though, tied it at 3 when defenseman Jack Johnson, he shot one from the left circle to beat Svedberg and tie it at 3. I know Jack Johnson, just to get a little off track here, I think Jack Johnson would have liked to take that slap shot at his parents. I don't know if any of you heard or not.
Yeah, tell that story.
Yeah. When he first became an NHL player, he's been a player now for 9 years, and he had an agent. He got rid of his agent, and he entrusted his finances with his parents. Well, his parents have spent $15 million of his $20 million that he's earned in the NHL.
Nice parents, huh?
All different kinds of bad investments and stuff like that. So now he's had to file for bankruptcy, and he's distanced himself from his parents. I mean, terrible situation. I mean, nobody would want that to happen. happened. But it's like, gee, he would have been obviously better off with his agent. But I mean, hey, you think you could trust your parents?
Jeez, I mean, you think you look
terrible.
out for the welfare of your kids, and your kid's going to look out for
Right.
your welfare. That's how it's supposed to work.
Exactly. Instead, they're taking out $15 million loans to do who knows what.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, very unacceptable. But so the game's tied at 3, and it stayed that way through overtime. And then
That was unacceptable.
yes,
that goal.
was unacceptable. Yeah, 13 shooters into the overtime.
Yep.
No goals until Providence Bruins call up
The rookie.
Alexander Kokolchev.
Say that 3 times
Yeah,
fast.
I know exactly. He scored. He 5-holed Brabowski for the game winner. It was really nice to have the 2 points, especially going into the game on Saturday against the Canadians. You don't know what's going to happen, so at least they got these 2 points. But Lucic and Prout exchanged a little bit of punches, or should I say Prout kind of sucker punched Lucic in the overtime period. Luch is there just trying to do what he can to win, and all of a sudden Luch didn't even have his gloves drop, and Prout turned around and punched him right in the face. So these two guys play each other. These two teams play each other 2 more times, and I know Luch already made some comments with some chuckles. So I think there's going to be a little bit of a revenge factor, but Luch, just do it at the proper time, and
Right.
I think he will. Like I said, no Krejci, no Marchand, Svedberg. He other than those goals trickling in, he played well. He stopped 28 shots.
Svedberg's playing well.
Yes, he is. The Bruins
doing good.
The Bruins poured in 41 shots on Brabowski. He made 38 stops. Kevin Miller was back, which was a nice sign, especially with McQuaid being out. And David Warsofsky, I know we had reported he was injured. He's ready to resume skating, and in fact, actually, he's already skated. So, hopefully he'll be back soon, because I think they're going to need the help.
Well, that was a good game, but my only complaint, and like we talked about, I understand it's the Providence Bruins that's up here on the ice. A lot of juggling with the injuries and stuff like that, but it's the regular veteran players that need to step it up, and they are just not scoring. Like you just said, 41 shots in that game and 3 regulation goals. I mean, they're getting the shots. They're getting the puck domination. They can't put the puck in the net. I mean, it's getting to the point. It's just frustrating, and it's more frustrating for them. But the biggest thing is they get the 2 quick goals, and to take a lead and get that kind of momentum, and they sat back on a 1-goal lead. And I'm sitting there going, it's going to happen. You want to call me negative and a pessimist. I'm not. I've been watching this stuff happen over and over again. They keep sitting back, playing sloppy, and what's going to happen? The inevitable. Tie game. Jack Johnson scores from the faceoff circle. You could see it coming. And I don't know why this style of play continues to happen. Doesn't matter who's on the ice. It continues to happen. But luckily, it went into overtime. And, geez, I'll tell you, they dominated that overtime period. But, again, nobody could put the puck in the net.
Yep.
I mean, shot after shot. Put the puck in the net. Get in the dirty areas and get the puck in there. And, a lot of it's the referees. They're calling these, like last night's game against the Canadians. The puck hit the goalie and it had hit Price in the chest, and the referee blew the whistle.
Yeah.
And it ended up in the crease, so they could have put it in for a goal.
Yeah.
I mean, the referees, I'm not blaming the refs, but they're not helping in this situation either.
No, that's for sure.
But speaking of the Canadians.
Yeah, well, let's go to that. Well, I'll tell you what, like you said, no Krejci, no Marchand, no Kelly tonight.
No
Kelly last night. He didn't play. And, of course, Chara and McQuaid being out. And it was more like the Providence Bruins out there with Lindblad, Kokolchev, the Trotmans, the Moros, and the Fraziers. The Canadians beat the Bruins for the 3rd time this season on TD Ice for a 2-0 victory. Markov got a power play goal with Krug in the box a little bit more than halfway through the first period, and then Plekanec netted a rebound off of Tuukka to make it 2-0 in the second, and the score held up for the rest of the game. Tuukka, 21 saves, Price, 33 saves. They broke a string. The Bruins had 6 consecutive home game victories before that. Face-offs, Habs 51%, Bruins 49%. Price, 32 games versus the Bruins. That was his first shutout that he's ever had against them. And now the Bruins are 1-7-2 in their last 10 games versus the Habs. And in 3 games that they've played them so far this year, the Bruins only have 5 goals, and 4 of them came in 1 game. Bruins out-hit the Habs 30-21. Crew got into his first fight of his career.
And he won.
And he won. He actually won. Yeah, exactly. The Soderberg line, they played a strong game all night, but on that one play there where the Canadians scored their second goal, the turnovers are so costly. Soderberg was trying to force the puck over to Lucic, who was covered. And what happened was the Canadians ended up taking the puck, and then Plekanec ended up scoring. But they talked to Claude Julien after the game, and I've got to agree with him. He said the first 2 periods, the Bruins, they played well. They played a hard game, but you know what? Not enough jam at the net.
Right.
I know Price was good, but at the same time, he's seeing everything. Yeah. And most of these goalies today, the way that they cover with that butterfly style and moving back and forth,
they see the puck, they're going to save it.
Everything they see, they're going to stop.
Right.
But they did compete hard. They just were not able to put the puck in the net. I know you can look at this and say, gee, they lost again to the Canadians, but you know what? I think they're on the upswing now, and considering all these injuries that they've had, I think to have this game to be just 2-0, like you said, we've got to look more at the offense. Your Luchas, your Bergerons, and your Ericssons, those guys, those veterans, they've got to be able to step up and put that puck in the net. I know Lucic had some opportunities, and even Eriksson too, and they just have not been able to put that puck in the net. And you can't have, basically the Bruins have just had maybe, 3 or 4 guys scoring most of the goals this year.
Well, you look at, everyone's like, well, the defense. They gave up 2 goals.
Yeah.
You're not going to shut a team out every game or give 1 goal out.
No.
You're going to give an average of 1 to 4 goals up a game. You need to score. You got to score some goals. All you had to do is get 1 goal a period, and you beat the Canadians last night. It's just no one on that team seems to be able to consistently score goals. And, Lucic's got to find the net. He has to find the back of the net. I don't know what he's doing. Bergeron hasn't been finding it lately. He's had 2 assists since we last spoke.
Yeah.
Okay? But I'm not going to pick Berge. He's a great player. So is Lucic.
Yeah, exactly.
But, these guys need to step it up. Lucic's lost without Krejci. That's the bottom line.
Yeah. I know we talked about that earlier, and it's kind of a shame that has to happen, but that seems to be the case.
It's funny when it's hockey nature to boo when a penalty should be called. And I do the same thing. Oh, that should have been a penalty. That should have been a penalty. But sometimes I don't want a penalty called against the other team because it's a 2-minute waste of the game. Because the Bruins just don't have a power play.
No, they haven't of late. That's for sure.
That's what I mean. It got better. And it started out great this season, but again, it's the injuries and
we don't have that big guy Chara in front of the net screening. I know that's not helping their power play. In fact, actually last year, Chara had 10 power play goals.
Right. So it's not as if they're not trying.
Yeah.
And they are showing good signs.
Right.
My only complaint is again the sitting back after they take a lead. They need to, and like you say, they got to get in the dirty areas. You got to get in there and muck it up with the goalies.
Yeah.
And the neutral zone play. You got to start lining guys up and knocking them off that puck instead of stick checking all the time. Because I see that too often. The guy skating the puck out, just take him off the puck. Without interfering with him, of course.
Right. Yeah. Campbell was trying to spark things up last night. He got into a fight with Dale Weiss. He didn't win, but at the same time, he didn't lose either. And he did try to at least spark some things up.
They went around in circles good.
Yes. Yeah. Just a little update on Brad Marchand. They've now put him on the injured reserve, so he's going to be out at least 7 more days before he can come back.
Right.
Still haven't heard much more on the Krejci front. They're really keeping that a secret. Anyways.
Same with Chara, it seems.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, although they have been showing them up in the press box lately,
Yeah.
it's just kind of funny the way they show them. Chara's like in the middle, and then there's like three or four players on each side of him. You know, I mean, it looks like an airplane up there.
Yeah. Jeez.
But yeah, hey, I was reading in the paper too about I guess that the Canadians, they've started this new thing. Some of the NHL teams, it's the mother and son road trip. I know that they usually have the father and son road trip, but now they have the mother and son road
The
trip.
hockey moms.
Yeah, exactly. So Maria Subban, PK's mother, she enjoys the Bruins rivalry. She was wearing her Habs gear, I guess, yesterday at the TD Garden. But someday, with Malcolm Subban coming up with the Bruins, she may have to choose between the two, or maybe wear them both, maybe a little bit of each. But she was talking about if that happens where they play against each other, and she said that Malcolm's going to say to PK, "You're not scoring on me." And they also asked her about how her son PK, being a central figure in the rivalry, she said that that's hockey, and it brings character to the game, and it gets the fans involved, and it's good for the game, and she's right.
She can wear one of them half shirts like
Yeah.
they wear now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That'll look cool.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe she can take the old Ray Bork shirt, okay, the one that was half Bruins and half Colorado, and somehow make it a Canadian. She can put a Habs logo on it or something like that.
Yeah, she'll figure it out.
Yeah, right, exactly. Yep.
But it's nice to see the hockey moms there,
Yeah.
They're the ones who get up early, and
Yep.
so do the dads.
Yep.
But, the hockey's the sport where you got to get out of bed at 5 in the morning when you're 12.
Well, let's put it this way: either one or the other has to do it. I mean, I know I was lucky when my son played, but we were in the same boat too. And a lot of times I was out coaching, right? But my wife was always there, and I remember being a goalie. My wife used to always do the goalie walk in between periods.
Yeah.
But anyways,
you want to go to the upcoming games?
Yeah, let's go to some upcoming games. Okay.
Sure.
Well, tomorrow night the Bruins play the Pittsburgh Penguins at home.
I like Monday night games.
Yeah, and they, as everybody knows, they have a new coach, and Mike Johnston, as Dan Balsman is no longer the coach, and so far they're off to a pretty good start. They're first place in the Metropolitan Division, 13-4-2, 28 points. Sid the Kid Crosby, 8 goals, 13 assists for 26 points and a +4. He's second in the league in scoring.
Right.
Malkin and Hornquist both have 23 points. They're fourth in the league in scoring. Kunitz has got 17 points. Letang, 13. Dupuis and Sutter, 11 points, although Dupuis is going to be out for 6 months because he had a blood clot in his lung. So they're treating him with all kinds of blood thinners and stuff like that. Marc-André Fleury, their goalie, he leads the NHL with 4 shutouts. He's 11-3-1 with a 2.10 goals against average. They just recently signed him to a 4-year extension. And I know that the new general manager, Jim Rutherford, he was with Carolina, and he said, "Well, he's our goalie, and we're making sure of that for the future." He signed a $23 million extension, $5.75 million a year. But, I'll tell you about Marc-André Fleury. Is he a good goalie? Yeah, but as far as like the playoffs go, I know that he's got a Stanley Cup ring under his belt.
He's weak on that glove side.
Yeah, he is. He's got a Stanley Cup ring under his belt, but you know what? With that talent on that team, he was just along for the ride as far as I was concerned as his first year being the rookie. Not that he didn't play good, but at the same time, he really hasn't proven himself since, and he's had plenty of opportunities to do it. So
not for nothing, but every goal is good against the Bruins lately.
Yeah, but I just think that, I don't know. It's just an awful lot of money to spend on him when I don't know. Maybe they don't have many other goalies coming up through the system. I know their backup Thomas Greiss. They haven't used him too much. He's 2-1-1. But needless to say, I think the Bruins are going to have to treat this game like they did against St. Louis. I think they're going to have to play with that defensive style and look for be opportunistic. Some key forechecking.
Wait for the opening.
Yeah, wait for an opening. Look for a flub pass or something like that.
And go to the net.
Yeah, go to the net.
Not too many passes. Shoot the puck to the net.
Exactly. Look for some, as Jack Edwards would say, look for some juicy rebounds. Because Fleury sometimes gives those up.
He gives them up.
So they're going to have to be definitely opportunistic.
Well, it'll be a tough game again.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's on the road, correct?
No, that's a home.
That's a home one.
That's at home, and I don't know what the status is with Krejci. It would be nice to have him in the lineup again, but at the same time, it's like if they're going to play him and then not play him, I'd rather see them right now sit him out until he's healthy enough again to play consistently.
Well, they have a good 3-day rest after that game, so maybe rest them.
Yeah, right, exactly. Then Bruins have Thanksgiving off. They don't play any more games until the day after Thanksgiving, and they play the Jets. Okay, it's a home game. But
Blake Wheeler.
Yeah, Blake Wheeler. He's their leading scorer right now. Yep, former Bruin. He's got 8 goals and 5 assists for 13 points. Andrew Ladd, also former Blackhawk. He's got 7 goals, 5 assists with 12 points. Brian Little, 5, 6, and 11. Dustin Byfuglien, the big defenseman there again from the Chicago Blackhawks. He's got stats of 3, 4, and 7, and he's a plus or minus 0, 49 penalty minutes.
Yeah.
They also have former Bruin defenseman Mark Stewart. He's 1, 4, and 5. Their goalie, Andre Pavlik, in 13 games. He's 7, 7, and 2 with a 2.25 goals against average. Their backup, former Bruin farmhand Michael Hutchinson, in 6 games, he's 3, 1, and 1 with a goals against average of 1.38. And technically right now, that's the best in the NHL.
Yeah. What happened to Evander Kane? Didn't he come over from the Blackhawks?
No, Evander Kane has always been with this franchise.
He's always been with them, okay.
Yeah. But anyways, he got off to kind of a slow start. He was injured, but in 13 games, he's had 2 goals and 4 assists for 6 points, and he's a +2. But he's always been rumored in a trade to come to the Bruins. Boy, I'll tell you what, I'd love to see that happen.
I'd love to see him. Yeah,
he would be a great asset to have, and I think that he'd be that type of Bruins player, a tough guy that can also play hockey.
Right.
I mean, he would be he'd be nice to have. But yeah, I mean, I have to say that the Jets have gotten off to a decent start this year. They're 10 and 8 and 3 with 23 points in their 4th place in that Central Division. So that's not going to be an easy game either. But as you said, with the little respite that they have, hopefully they can at least get somebody like a Krejci or something like that back.
Well, the thing is too. Which, like we were talking, I know it's good for the players, but for the fans, it's odd this year. I used to look forward to the Friday afternoon after Thanksgiving game. And it seems to be it's a night game, which is fine, a Friday night game. But I wonder why this year they decided to go with the the night game instead of the afternoon game, where they used to do the afternoon game.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Maybe the players are going to do some Black Friday shopping, so they
that
don't want a 1
be.
o'clock game.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, though, it's kind of killed my excuse for curtailing our Black Friday shopping. So, hey, I get the Bruins game to go to at 1 o'clock,
So hurry up,
we're going to have to curtail it. Right, exactly. But, well, fortunately for me, my wife's always on board with that because she likes going to the Bruins games. But
now
anyways,
you can come home, go shopping, and then go to the game.
Yeah, right, exactly. So... But anyways, yeah, it's just a little bit unusual because that's always been an afternoon game. But,
I always looked forward to that, But it was they changed it this year. But it's good for the players, like you said, let that turkey digest a little bit, and especially for the players traveling, and maybe they can spend Thanksgiving at home and then get the late night shuttle or whatever and come to Boston. But that's a trip from Winnipeg.
Yeah,
they don't get snowed in.
Yeah, right.
Like Buffalo today. Did they decide where the Bills are playing? I figured they'd settle on a neutral.
Yeah, the neutral site is going to be in Detroit. See, they can't.
Wow.
They can't play in New York because the Giants are playing.
Giants
a Monday
are playing.
Night game.
Okay, I thought so.
They're actually going to play. It's going to be at 7:00, and it's going to be in Detroit. So
that's cool. I figured they'd do that.
Yeah,
that would be the way to go because, geez, the snow up there. So it was 6,000 people at the Buffalo Sabres game.
Yes.
The diehards still came out.
Right.
I remember the blizzard of '78. There was a game.
Yeah.
I thought they were going to cancel it, and the Bruins. I think they played the Rangers that day. so the travel was simple.
Right.
The Rangers were already in town, I think, or something like that, and they ended up getting that game played. But the snow usually doesn't cancel too many games for hockey, but it certainly doesn't usually cancel them for football. But this one, you had no choice.
Yeah, I mean, that stadium was just buried. You know, it's funny. My wife was showing me some pictures online of somebody could you imagine opening up the door at your house and having the imprint of the door
right
on the
there.
snow with no way to get out other than to hey, just going to have to start digging my way. You're going to have to dig inside.
Yep.
And put the snow somewhere. It's like an episode from Hogan's Heroes there, where they used to dig the snow and they used to have to find a place to put the snow while they were digging a tunnel.
Yeah.
You know?
Put it in buckets and carry it up to the bathtub.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But
yeah, I mean, I love snow, but boy, that would be a little bit too much.
Yeah.
Talk about claustrophobic.
Right.
Jeez.
Yeah. Well, on Thanksgiving Day, there's no hockey scheduled. As far as the American teams go, but where Canada already had their Thanksgiving in October, there is one game, if you have the NHL package, Edmonton versus Nashville, which is an evening game. I don't know, I guess you could fit that in between some football games if you want to, although there is also a night football game. I think there's 3 games on, so, but needless to say, it's a nice option to have if you have the NHL package.
Yep, I'll have it.
Yeah,
and Christmas Day, there's no game this year, which is good. And we've got some Winter Classics coming up again.
Yeah.
So hockey's here.
Yeah. I just wanted to close, too, Steve, to let everybody know that the NHL All-Star fan voting, it opened up on the 20th. So you can go online at NHL.com, and the voting will conclude on January 1st.
And don't stuff the ballots.
No. Go just pick who you think is the best. That's all. Yeah. Don't just go with he's my favorite player. It's look at the stats and go from there and see who's having a good season, who deserves to be on that All-Star team.
And you pink hats with he's so cute. I got to vote for him 100 times. Pick the player that's the best player, will you? If you think he's cute, pick him, but vote for him once.
That's right.
And they've been having some pretty good All-Star games, so let's keep it going.
Yeah.
The only thing I'm going to say in closing is I get this show, I have to try to figure out a way to get it more popular because it doesn't seem like it's getting any views. I don't know if you don't like us, so it's just not getting out there, but comment. I know I have a little blinking twitch, but I can't do anything about it. So you're going to have to deal with that, make fun of me. I don't care what you do, but please watch our show. Let us know what you think. If there's something you want us to change or talk more about, we hope to start doing it live one of these years. But it'll happen soon. And subscribe to us, and we'll try to get more highlights on. We're working on it, but right now we just like keeping you informed, and we like talking hockey.
Yeah.
What's wrong with that?
Exactly. And and we get together, we talk about hockey when we're just talking to each other on the phone, getting ready to plan for the show and stuff like that. We're just regular fans like everybody else, and and we
drink coffee while we talk to you.
Exactly. And one of the reasons why we enjoy doing this show is we try to do some research, and we know that a lot of people are busy during the work week, and they may not have time to watch all the Bruins game or do some investigating as far as what happened during the game. Well, we try to do a little bit of research, to talk about it, and then that way, hey, if you're going to your local bar room or whatever, and you go in there and you watch the game, we're hoping that some of the stuff that maybe we talked about, you can talk to somebody else who thinks that they know everything about the Bruins and let them know, hey, I've been paying attention.
Hey, you want to call it cooler talk. So a lot of the stuff we talked about in past shows. Then you tune, we have a show we do usually on Sunday morning, and then you put on a game Tuesday night, and Dale Arnold's talking to Kluzak or Rick's talking to Edwards, and they'll say the same thing as we said. So, we're not the best hockey minds out there. I'm sure there's some of you out there that run circles around us, but it's not all about knowledge. We're just doing this for fun and to bring fun to you people. It's a hobby, and it's the best sport out there. And the hockey players are the greatest people on earth when it comes to athletes. So, go Bruins. and you all have a happy Thanksgiving.
Yes, enjoy. Gobble, gobble.
God bless.